So we can use different planes or imaginary lines to separate the different regions of the body. We have the frontal plane, which separates the front and the back of the body, or I guess into the anterior and the posterior regions. We can also use the term ventral, which is similar to the anterior region, ventral kind of relating to the belly or near the belly, and the dorsal, which is very similar to the posterior region. We also have another vertical division, which is the sagittal plane. Now, the sagittal plane is different because it's subdivided into two types. The mid-sagittal will create an equal left and right division. Parasagittal will create unequal division. So imagine a parasagittal plane dividing my body down the logo on my chest here. We also have a horizontal division known as the transverse plane. Now, the transverse plane is interesting because you can kind of divide up the body into chunks a little bit easier, I find. So, for example, you can divide the cephalic region and the cervical region pretty easily using a transverse plane. Now, with anatomy, we can also use different directional terms. So we already talked about anterior and posterior being kind of front and back. So, for example, the mental is anterior to the occipital being posterior to the mental. We also have superior and inferior. The acromial region is superior to the carpal region. The carpal region is inferior to the acromial region. We also have medial and lateral. Now, with medial and lateral, something that's more medial would be your abdominal region. Something that's more lateral would be your antecubital region, the pit of the elbow. Then we have proximal and distal. So this is in relation more so to limbs. So in relating back to the arm, that's the brachial or the acromial region is more proximal to the torso than would be the digital or carpal region, which is more distal, or even compared to each other. There's a proximal distal relationship there. And last but not least, in terms of pairings of anatomical directions, we have superficial and deep. So something that's superficial would be your scalenes or sternocleidomastoids, muscles in your neck and jaw. And something that's very deep would be the vertebral column.